Is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Probably one of the most clickbait names of all time for anime. I literally went into it thinking it would be like a comedy anime, and it turned out not to be exactly that. It ended up being a pretty solid anime here, and I'm excited to talk about it on this episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review because like it has everything you want. You get the protagonist who is like naive but also want to make a difference and be the strongest and be the best, so he can live up to this character that he's like, I want to be just like her, and he got like fan service characters and all that stuff, but it's a pretty solid anime, and I think it's an anime that we should be talking about that like nobody talks about. So on this episode of Movie Breakdowns Series Review, I'm going to break down season 1 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? It's a very, very long name for no reason. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review. I'm your host, Ali Zakka, and what is Movie Breakdown Series Review? Well, we take a TV show or a series of movies, a series of something, give them a grade, A through L, plus or minus do count. If there's multiple seasons, we break down multiple seasons and give those seasons grades as well. And at the end of it all, we give an overall grade. And if there's a series we need to review, please put in the comment section below and I'll get to it as best I can. But I do have a Patreon called Patreon/Ali Zakka, and if you come in on my Patreon, I get to that stuff immediately because you're paying for my services. And on Patreon, you get first thoughts on TV shows and movies, you get trailer reaction, trailer reviews, you get first come first serve when it comes to requesting stuff, and you get reviews way before they come out on YouTube and Facebook. Now, before I get into the episode, I do want to say thank you guys for watching this series. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's episode. And it's a very long name, but is it wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Yes, this is the anime name. Yes, it is such a clickbait name, but I've seen this series 3 times, or I should say see this season 1 3 times. And you know what? The first time I watched it, I was looking for like a comedy anime to watch, I guess you could say. I was bored. I think I just got done watching Dragon Ball Super or caught up to One Piece at that point. And I was like, you know what else is on Netflix to watch? And also I was watching 7 Deadly Sins. I was like, what else is on Netflix to watch? And I put on Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And that name is super, super long for no reason, but yes, that's the name of this, that's the legit name of the anime. And the name of the manga too, which, by the way, as I'm talking about that, the manga is created by Fujino Omori. I want to say Omori. I want to add more to that, but it was Omori. Fujino Omori is the creator of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? And also the illustration in the manga is done by Suzuhito Yasuda. So this is who worked on this. It's the creators of it and illustrators of it. But yeah, I'm sitting here like thinking, like, man, what a name! This is definitely clickbait. Okay, we're gonna watch and see what happens, and thinking it's gonna be a funny comedy anime. Some kid who's doesn't know his strength or doesn't know who he is, and just at first it kind of seemed like that, like girls are flocking to him, and he's this unsure character, and like, oh, here we go, another funny comedy guy. Like, oh my gosh, women are flocking to me. I don't know how to handle this, but look, there's monsters. And then when you watch this anime, it is not that at all. Now, I was pretty dang impressed by what I watched. I was like, okay, this is not a comedy anime. This is actually a legit story, legit series. And I guess legit means a serious tone. It's more of a serious tone anime versus the comedy anime. It's more of a serious tone. There's not a joke. It's not a parody of anything. It's its own story about a guy who wants to get stronger so he can be able to approach and even try to talk to the girl of his dreams, who is the the baddest warrior on the block. I want to say badass for some reason, but yeah, she is a badass. But the baddest warrior on the block. Like, she is the warrior of the town. She's the head honcho. Like, people look up to her. She's kicking my butt, hands down. People respect her. And he's like, I want her admiration. I also want to also like hers. I kind of want her love, and I just want to stand out to her and want to be somebody who he can talk to her. But he doesn't feel like he's ready for that. But while he's trying to get stronger, he's also going through other trials, and also going through other events, making him stronger and kind of be more confident in himself. Pretty much, he's the guy who wants to get seen by the girls. Well, by one girl, and by him doing this, he's building confidence in himself. He's trying to get stronger. He's going to the gym, into the dungeon. I was gonna say going to the gym, but going to the dungeon to advance himself, to level up. And it's kind of like a video game in a sense too. Like, he starts off at level 1 and he's getting points and he's getting stronger and stronger, and he becomes level 2 and so on and so on. It's a pretty neat anime. It really is. And I swear I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. And I love this anime. I love watching it. I put it on the background just to watch it sometimes because it's a pretty dang good story. And I do like it's like a RPG video game where the main character is by himself at first, and he kind of gets a crew together, gets a group to go into the dungeon with him, a squad or a team, I may say, or may call it. Like, it's pretty legit, and it's written really well. And I guess that's already kind of get my first thoughts on the story of it, or first thoughts and a little bit of like what the premise of the show is. But I'm going to get some little spoilers now. I maybe gave out a little bit of it, but not too much. Like, I'm going to get into pure spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So, one of the big pieces of this season, I'm going to be reviewing season 1 now. I'll review season 2 later. But one of the big pieces of this season is Lily and Belle, who is the main character. And Lily is a girl who joins the squad. She's like a fox human hybrid. And her storyline is actually done really well, and I think it's one of the strong points of this season is her storyline and Belle's storyline, where she's kind of like jumping from group to group and stealing from them in order to kind of save herself and get herself free from kind of gang members and people who are harassing her. So she's like stealing from people in order to save herself in the end, and she comes across Belle. And Belle is such a kind-hearted and naive person that he really does, like, he might know she's doing bad stuff, but he kind of looks away from it because he doesn't believe that she's actually a bad person. He sees that she does good stuff, so he wants to help her out and wants to be better for her, and he stays loyal to her even when he finds out that she's cheating on him and like stealing from him, but he's not letting her like suffer. He's like, I'm going to stand up and fight for you because you're a good person. And she's like, I'm not a good person. Why would you do this for me? And she kind of realized that she met an actual loyal person she can trust, which is such a good piece of storyline there. Yes, it's done before, but this when they do it in this episode or do it on this series in this season, it pulls to you. You feel it. You're like, okay, there's a connection between Belle and Lily, and Belle doesn't look at her as like a romantic connection. He looks at her as a friend, and she kind of like looks up to him because of that. Pretty good. And the second character that he gets, the support character as she's called, that storyline is done really well. Now, there's only 13 episodes in season 1, and majority, I think, Lily's introduction and her coming over like her problems and issues with joining Belle, I think it takes about 3 or 4 episodes, but it's done really well, and it's like one of the highlights of this season. Another highlight is Belle finally overcoming the Minotaur. So the opening like scene of this anime, Belle is saved by an unknown person. Well, he knows who she is. He finds out who she is eventually, but he's saved by this person because a Minotaur escaped from like the lower level. So the further you go down in the dungeon, the harder the level is, the tougher it is, the stronger the monsters are you have to defeat. Well, one of the characters in her group let this Minotaur out to a higher, or I guess a lower level. He was at the bottom area, he kind of went up. So I guess the higher level again, level 1, like the entry levels, like the weakest, level 2, so on, but you go down. So I guess the further you descend, the higher the number gets. I guess, would that be higher? The lower levels, I think the lower, the lower levels are the 1 through like 10. But anyway, he gets up to a lower level, finds Belle and attacks Belle. Belle's saved by one of the girls. I'm actually about to mention her in a moment here. Her name is Eyes Wallenstein. So Eyes saves Belle, and Belle's like enamored by her. He wants to get to know her and figure out who she is and say thank you and so on and so on. And then he's actually kind of like in love, has a crush on her. Maybe in love, I don't know. He blushes and he doesn't have a crush on her for a fact. But I saves him and he's like, I want to be like her. But this Minotaur, when she defeats the Minotaur, there's other Minotaurs that appear and he kind of gets saved over and over again. But then there's a scene probably around episode 8 or 9 where Belle's like, I'm gonna fight this Minotaur, I'm not running away anymore. And it's a pretty badass scene, done really well. The music hits, the tone of it, everything, the artwork, phenomenal. And these are like the bright things I like in this season, in this season and series so far. Let me talk about some of the bad. Now, some of the bad pacing. Like after Belle meets Lily and Lily joins his squad and then he starts training with Ice a little bit. When he meets Wealth, that's when the pacing kind of skyrockets a little bit and kind of goes like, wait a minute, we can't have a moment of rest. So he meets Wealth, who's a guy who makes the armor for Belle. Belle meets him, Wealth wants to get stronger, so he joins the squad and he wants to up his skills, so he joins the squad. But there's one whole episode of him meeting Wealth and them getting together and kind of bonding. And then after that, they're like, Wealth, Lily, and Belle are going to like the middle floors. And you're just like, hold on, do you have a moment with like maybe Lily and Wealth getting along with each other? And then from there, it skyrockets into them meeting a bunch of other adventurers, and then from there it's just a giant boss battle at the end of the season, and you're just like, whoa, we didn't even have a moment to really let all this stuff in. Like we had such build up for Lily and Belle's characters and their build up, but then we got Wealth in there, we didn't really have time for that to grow. And then when we got the other cast, we didn't get time to let any of this grow. Like there's people who are in this final fight at the end of the season who get hurt or injured, and you're just like, disposable character number 1, disposable character number 2, disposable character number 3, disposable character number 4. I get it. It's only 13 episodes, so it's really hard to like try to break down and introduce so many characters, but when this season does it all at the end like that, you're just like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, Ali, aren't you missing another character? Yes, Hestia. I have to talk about Hestia. To me, she is the comic relief character of this season. Hestia. So Belle's more of a serious, like your regular hero's journey story character, your regular trope, shonen trope character who's weak becomes stronger. He's that regular character. Hestia is your comic relief character. She is purely in here for fan service and comedy relief. Comedy. She's there to bring a little levity to the area, levity to the scene, and she's a really jealous, annoying character to me. I don't like the jealousy. It makes her a little more annoying, and it really at certain times just like take you from the series. But yes, it's funny at times, but at other times just like I want to see Belle and I's character development grow. I want to see where that goes, but you can't get to that because Hestia is there and they throw her in there just for the pure like, how dare you take my man kind of thing. And Belle, you know, he seemed to have some feelings for Hestia. It's weird because it's like he likes her, but he likes Eyes more. He's single, so there's not really a issue there, and he's not really confident enough to try to pursue anything from either character. But just like, okay, where we going here? Why is Hestia in here? Are you the one that Hestia's gonna be with? Like Hestia's gonna be with Belle at the end of it all? I don't know. And there are 3 seasons total, so there's one is a second season out on Hulu, and then there's a 3rd season that probably will be out on Hulu pretty soon. If you Google it, you'll find that the 3rd season exists. So I'm curious to see where this goes. But the Hestia Belle story for season 1 was like, eh. And let's go ahead and talk about characters. Alright, number 1, Belle Canal. Bell Canal, he is the main character. He's like I said, he's your main story shonen superhero or shonen hero character where they go on this hero journey to get stronger, and they're really lovable. They're kind of naive to the world, but they are somebody you can root for. And also, Bell is kind of made to be like a ladies' man, or not really a nonchalant ladies' man, put it that way. Like, he's not trying to get women's attention, but this world, he's a good-looking guy, so therefore girls are flocking to him. You know, he doesn't really want them flocking to him. They're flocking to him. They're checking him out, and they're doing things for him. They have crushes on him, and he's just like, oh, well, thank you guys. Okay, cool, thank you. I don't know. Oh, he's blushes. He's a little shy, but girls flock to him this season, and it's serious actually. So even as an overarching bad guy that we don't really know much yet, we see her from afar, and she kind of like start throwing things towards Bell because she wants to see Bell. She gets turned on by Bell, which is like, okay, it's a little darker tone here. But Bell is a character. I like him. He's a good character. Solid for an anime like this. Solid for a manga series like this. I really want to read the books. Hestia, like I said, she's comic relief. I'm not a fan of Hestia. I don't like the jealous angst character, because she has a crush on Belle and she wants Belle for herself. So any other girl who steps in the picture is like a fight for her. Like, she got to defend her prize. And to me, it's like, why? And she is fan service. She's going to be the most character in the show who she has a revealing, not really revealing top, which is a top where like her breasts are showing out. Like, you can see her breasts, and there's episode where she moves, they bounce up and down, or she pops on the screen and they're there, first thing you see, or she gives Belle a hug and his face just flops in her his face falls into her boobs. Like, she is purely fan service character, and for the most part she is the fan service character. I don't think any other character gets as much fan service talk about, or fan service things like talk about her breasts or talk about her size or anything like that, or showing her from different angles so her breast is showing more, or showing her from different angles so her butt is showing more. I think she's really the only character that really gets that. Eyes gets it a little bit, but she doesn't. She gets it in a sense where like she's battle armored. Like, she has it's weird, an armor plate which covers half of her boob and comes up, and like battle scarred her, there's like skin here, so you just see like the under boob, and that's it. Which, let's talk about that. She's the next character on this list. Eyes, Valentine. Eyes, I like her as a character. The strong, quiet, I'm reserved character who doesn't really know anything else more about social cues. She's all about like the battle and the fight. So her interaction with Bells are pretty neat and pretty cool, and I like that. I think she's a solid, strong protagonist for the main protagonist to follow and look up to and try to reach. I like that character. I like the fact they made it a girl who is a kick-ass girl, and the main character's like, I want to be strong just like her. I like that. Lily Ruka Artie. Lily is a cool character. She's like the support character, and she legit says she's a support character. Her storyline is pretty solid, and I like the way they did it. And I don't really have any complaints with her. I really like Lily. And then Wilf Crozo, he's the other character who gets brought into the series. He just has one episode of development. He's a cool character, but he also the character that says like the most like, come on, bring it, the most stereotypical like anime writing, fighting kind of character, like, you bring it, let's go. All right, guys, here we go. Like, I think he literally is based off an RPG character, and I wish we got more development with him. Just the one episode was like, okay, it's cool. Let's see here. Ryu, I was looking for her. She's an elf character I really wish we get more from in season 1. She's a character who's kind of super serious but kind of looks out for Belle. I really wish we got more of her. Thought she was a neat character. I want to see what happens in season 2 with her. And also his advisor, which is Ina. I think I said her name. E-I-N-A. Anna, I think is her name. She's another cool character that kind of like helps out Belle a little bit throughout the series. And Those two characters I kind of wish we get a little more from, but the main characters are pretty cool. The main characters are pretty cool. And one thing I didn't mention earlier in this review is that Hestia, she is a god. And Freya is one of the characters who gets turned on, who's also the god. She gets turned on by Belle's like fighting techniques, and we'll see him go through more like trials. They are gods, and this series does have gods in it, and it has different other kind of animals and creatures, and like I mentioned, like how Lily is a human slash fox hybrid or cat hybrid. So this world for Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? This world is big and different. It really just set like a RPG video game, and I freaking love it. And I just feel like I need to mention the fact that like they are higher beings, but they kind of stay amongst the humans. Especially Hestia, like she's in love with a human character, which also had a little more, I guess, tie-in. Belle has a little more tie-in to gods than you can think of. But I think I love this character. I love this world building. I love the world that we're in, the setting. The music is great. The opening theme, the closing theme, not so much. Not a fan of it, but the main music for the series, I think is great. The tone it sets is great. The one thing that to me is like, the gods are there for comic relief and levity, especially Hestia. It throws me off. And at the ending, the pacing of it, I think the anime could have gave more episodes to let character development breathe, or add more filler in so you get more attached to certain characters. And then at the end of season 1, instead of being a 13 episode season, I think a 26 or 30 episode season, matter of fact 26 would have been good. I think 26 episodes would have been good, because then you have time to let characters breathe. You got time to drag out more storylines, so that way when things do go wrong at the ending, like I feel like the ending was really rushed in a sense. When things do go wrong in the ending, you're like, oh my gosh, okay, alright, well shoot, I wasn't expecting this character to get hurt, wasn't expecting this character to get hurt, versus they brought in so many characters at the end. Like you meet at least in the last 2 episodes, at least like 8 other characters plus, and you're just like, all right, we gotta breathe here, guys. We gotta breathe here. Like, I don't know who this character is. Like, she's in the fight. I don't know why I care about her being in the fight. Okay, cool. So I definitely believe that they would have dragged out the season, not dragged, but added a little more episodes into the season. It would have extended storylines. Like, maybe get you got another episode with Wealth and Belle, so you learn what their relationship is like. You learn their friendship is not just them being, hey, we're best friends, saying that they are, but you get to see like them actually growing into a friendship. Like for example, Gon and Killua, not Killua, I want to say Killua so bad. No, yeah, Killua. I'm thinking of Karapika, but Gon and Killua and Hunter x Hunter, you get to see their friendship grow. You get to see them become friends, and them go from, hey, what's up, to, all right, bro, I got your back. Yo, hold me back while I throw this dodgeball at this guy, and we catch the dodgeball together. Like, those things and the trust factor. I'm just supposed to assume that Wealth and Belle has a trust factor immediately after one whole episode, which kind of expands maybe 2 days, 3 days. So, yes, I wish they had more time to breathe on characters. And we got season 2, so we may get more backstory into characters. Maybe season 1 just the introduction. So I'm gonna give it a little bit. But is this an anime you should watch? Yeah, this is an anime you should watch. Give this anime a go, enjoy it, kick back and watch. Now, grading time. I'm gonna grade Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? That name gets me every time. I'm gonna grade it at B-. This is a B- season. A good opening season, solid introduction. You're gonna get involved in this character. You'll be like, oh man, I want to see what happens next. Yes, you got your fan service for those characters, for those people who want fan service. You got that, but really, it's about Belle and his storyline. And I freaking love it, and I'm excited to see what season 2 holds. And the one things I didn't like was the pacing of it towards the end. I felt like they kind of rushed it. They could have extended some and give a little more backstory on characters that we can grow with. It would be more fulfilling when you see the final boss fight in season 1. But as far as storyline's good, it's solid. As far as character development, I think some character development for the first half of the season is definitely solid. It's definitely pretty good. Music is solid. The artwork, I love it. and the world it is, the setting you're in, solid as well. So a B- for season 1 of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon? Other than that, what do you guys think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode when we break down series review. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of movie breakdowns or grind towards success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of movie breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time, and keep being awesome.